In Lesson 3.5, Multiplication and Division, we're going to explore the relationship between multiplication and division and provide you some practice with division facts. So on the left-hand side, you'll be reminded that you'll see a multiplication chart. The factors are in blue, and they are two numbers that are multiplied together to give you a product. You've been working on multiplication with extra math, but you can also use that for division. So today I'm going to remind you that there are some symbols that you need to remember. The asterisk also means to multiply, so you may see that. The / also means to divide. So those are symbols that can be used interchangeably. So let's go ahead and look at a fact triangle. So we take the product 42 and its two factors, or two of its factors. In the center, you will see an asterisk and a /. By using my multiplication chart, either in my toolkit or in the front of my math journal, what I would do is I would take my two factors, 6 and 7. I would find one along the top and one along the side. And the way it works is that you draw your fingers together until you come to where they meet. That is the product. So imagine that you had one of those factors missing. What you would do is, let's erase the 6. Or imagine it's not there, just cover it up for a second. And you had 42 divided by 7. The way you'd use your multiplication chart is to go across the 7s, because you know that's one of the known factors. You would stop at 42. You would go directly up, and you would know that the missing factor is 6. So 42 divided by 7, go across the 7s till you get to 42, straight up, and you would get 6 as the missing factor. You'll be asked today in your math journal to come up with fact triangles. So here is a fact triangle. I should be able to write 2 multiplication facts and 2 division facts using this fact family. So I'm going to start with multiplication. 3 times 5 equals 15. Now I can also do the turnaround fact. 5 times 3 equals 15. I also can take the product, 15, and divide it by each of the factors. So I can take 15 and divide it by the factor 3 to get 5, and 15 divided by 5 equals 3. Remember, you would write the largest number first. And the first problem is traditionally how we're used to seeing division problems written, and that is 30 divided by 6 equals 5. Notice that this / again is the same symbol for division. So in this case, if I were to use my multiplication chart, I would take 6 and 5. I would go down the 6 column and across the 5 row until I get where my fingers meet. There is 30. Sometimes, though, they're not always written that way. In this case, we have 8 equals some number divided by 9. Well, what I can do is use the 8 and the 9, go down the 8 row, across the 9s until I get to where my fingers meet. We have 72. 72 divided by 9 equals 8. Let's try another way. Here we have some number divided by 8 gives me 4. Well, I have 2 known numbers, so I'm going to go from the 8 column and the 4 till when my fingers meet. 32. 32 divided by 8 gives me 4. But since I could work in the opposite direction, I also could do the opposite operation, which is multiplication. I could think of this as 8 times 4 equals 32. Because remember, multiplication and division are in relationship with each other. They are just the opposite. Sometimes we're only given the quotient or the answer when you divide. So if I go along my 8s, I can use anything in that row, anything in that column. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the 8s and just stop, let's say, at 32. So I know if I take 32, I already know it's 8, so I have to go up, 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 till I get to 4. I know that 32 divided by 4 is 8. That's not the only answer though. Let me try another multiple of 8. So I'm going across the multiples. Let me stop at 56. Do that again, 56. So if I take the same problem, there's another answer. So if I take 56, we already know that 8 is a factor, so we have to go up this time. 56 divided by 7 equals 8. There's still another answer. Let's try a different one. How about if I go across the 8s to 72? I could write 72, and then I would go up, divided by 9 equals 8. And you could do that multiple more times. What if I were given a problem like this? 36 divided by some number equals another number. Well, what I'm going to have to do is look for 36 somewhere on my multiplication chart in this white region. So if I look for 36 here, I can go up, 36 divided by 6, and go across and get my other factor. There's more than one answer there. What about another 36 somewhere on the chart? Let's look for another 36. How about here? If I look up, 36 divided, this should be an equal sign, sorry. Let's erase that. That should be equal sign. And then go across, I would get 4. So there are many ways to use the multiplication and division chart in ways to help you solve problems. So today in your math journal, you will be working on page 61 to create fact triangles. Then you will move on and practice some more with change at the bottom of that page.